What's up everybody and welcome to the channel. Today we're checking out the 2025 Ford Bronco Sport. This one's finished in Oxford white. This is also the Badlands trim level with an MSRP at $41,700. Is this the coolest compact off-roader? Ford really does give you a lot for this Bronco Sport. So let's take a look at the interior as well as all the other specifications. So pulling that twice, we can unlatch the hood and see what is powering this. Now the Bronco Sport has two engines. You have a 3-cylinder and a 4-cylinder. For this trim level, you're only going to find that 4-cylinder motor. So nice to see at least you can get a more traditional motor. So with that said, underneath the hood, this has the 2-liter inline 4-cylinder engine that pumps out 250 horsepower with 277 pound-feet of torque. We have an 8-speed automatic as well as a 4-wheel drive system as well. And then with all that, this has a curb weight around 3,500 pounds. Max towing is even 2,700 pounds. And this runs on a 16-gallon fuel tank. With that, you can expect 21 in the city with 27 out on the highway. For the exterior, I like the design for the LED headlights. Got that traditional round style, and then I like the bar cutting inwards towards the Bronco name. You have some silver trim for the front grille. Bronco written out in white with a forward-facing camera. You have all sorts of openings to provide airflow, and then I like the metal on this front bumper with these massive tow hooks. So pretty cool to see that. We have parking sensors. The exposed hardware looks really neat. LED fog lights and just a little bit of plastic black throughout it. So it has a cool style to it. Definitely a rugged retro style compact. And then for the hood, yes, a couple sharp lines cutting towards the windshield. And with this specific spec, I like the black roof and the black wheels, just giving it a cool two-tone Stormtrooper style. You got satin black on the 17-inch wheels with a multi-spoke look. That plastic black makes its way into the fenders as well as the whole side skirt to aid in that rugged style. Got a nice trim piece along with the Badlands logo, just some plastic for the side mirrors with a camera, and then you can see plastic for the door handles. Gloss black everywhere else, and then I like how the roof dips. Has a nice cut upwards to give you better headroom in back. Cool trim piece as well, finished in the black. You got roof rails up above, and for the overall side profile, has a pretty good proportion. I think it's pretty cool looking. It's got the boxy vibe to it, but of course still in a compact. Making our way in back, you have a nice set of LED taillights. They'll light up red, and then down below you can see more of the plastic black for the bumper. There are some nice textures to it, so it doesn't just look like a cheap plastic bumper. Actually looks like a nice finished off rear bumper just for a rugged car. You got your trailer hitch and all those connections. You got your sensors, camera. You can open the door and the glass. We have Bronco Sport finished in the white color, and then more of the black up above just to finish off the design. Definitely a cool looking vehicle. I think I like the retro style. You got the glass button, and then we can independently open that up to give you a little bit better access into the interior, which is a nice touch. You're also going to see the little Bronco logo from the inside. And then pressing this button, we can lift open the whole lift gate. Now in back, you have a decent amount of space, especially with the seats folded down, which are all manual. You have the light control. You have different hooks with a little lasso on it just to give you that Bronco characteristic. Bronco logo as well. And then for the floor, we do have a spare tire. So pretty nice overall with a decent amount of space in here. Got your handles to easily close everything. And then making our way to the interior, you can see how they're going to fold nice and flat. Definitely making this a pretty roomy car for being a compact. From here, we can just lift these seats up, lock them back into place. And then this can seat 3 people total. You are going to be able to pull this center one down for an armrest along with cup holders. And there's quite a few amenities. We have air vents, we have different plugs, storage areas, and even a zipper pocket, which is pretty neat. You're gonna get the Bronco logos on the inside as well, great for a phone holder. And then I like the gray leatherette material with the perforations, the fabric. Door panel finished off primarily in just a plastic material with a cool texture and a nice padded armrest. And then hopping inside, I do have these seats up a little bit, that way they cleared the headrest. However, even with the seat back at my height, which is 5'11", I still have about an inch of knee room. Headroom is fantastic. The dip in that roofline gives you so much headroom. I probably have almost a foot, which is pretty insane. Got a nice armrest on the left side, and these seats are really comfortable. They actually support my leg very well. I don't feel cramped in here at all. And then the backrests are pretty comfortable as well. So honestly, this is a pretty good little SUV. Can't really complain with the amenities or the comfort. Hopping into the front seat, you have the smart key where it'll lock and unlock. So then hopping inside, door panel is going to be finished off just like the back. We do have a memory seating, all of your controls, and both front seats are power operated. Got the same interior for the seats, headrests, and then a nice black leather steering wheel with that Bronco badge. Hopping inside now, keep my foot on the brake. Let's fire it up. And just pulling my seat back just a couple inches back to my position. On the steering wheel, we have some Bluetooth and audio controls. You also have cruise control on the left, some menu icons for the center screen. We can exit out of there. Scrolling up and down through this screen, you can see all of your basic information. We can go into here and you can see a few more things that'll pop up. So you got a pretty nice screen overall with everything. You're able to see quite a lot. Hitting the menu icon once again, we can go back to here. So you also have Bronco information. You can see tire pressure, off-road, and then a few others. So pretty nice overall. I like the screen with the displays on the left as well as the right side. The main screen, you can scroll through a few things, see a couple different bits of information. And then we also have a set of steering wheel mounted paddle shifters. We have the stock for windshield wipers, turn signals on the left, and then headlights are all down below with interior dimming. Got window air vents, more of this cool kind of plastic rubber material. And then there is some storage up above. There are accessory ready points, and then we have some plugs. It says Bronco up on this top bezel, Bronco over here as well. And then for the multimedia screen, we have all your different apps. You can scroll on this right side, see a few different things as well. Home icon, we can go into features now. You're gonna get a few things that are gonna pop up there. And we also have settings you can view and see a couple things in these different pages. And some of these screens, depending on which one it is, you can easily swipe it in. We have volume down below, and then for reverse, you have a massive backup camera, top-down view. This is all configurable, of course. You can go into here and see a few different things as well. So it definitely makes it nice and easy to operate, especially when you are going off-road. Climate control is all integrated into the screen, which actually does look pretty nice. It's pretty easy to use overall. You can easily adjust your heated seats. You have that one as well for automatic. We have our temperature that will pop up, fan speed, same sort of deal. And then over here, you can go into the full menu to see everything. So actually it all works really nice on and off, pretty simple. Air vents down below, then you have a couple shortcuts down here as well, and then a wireless phone charging, storage, and plugs. We have 2.5 cup holders right in the center, and our GOAT modes. So these are all the drive modes you can play with. You have normal, you have different street modes, inclement weather modes, as well as some off-road modes. So this really can be a pretty serious little off-roader, which is a nice touch. We have the locking diff, you have one pedal driving, traction control, padded armrest, and then storage all down below. Glove box over here, pretty good size as expected. And then one last look at the interior. The screens look nice. It's a little on the simple side, you know, with some of the buttons and things like that. However, this is more of a average price point vehicle. So pretty nice for what you would expect. Nice lighter color headliner, and then we have sunglass holder, garage door buttons, and a simple mirror. So setting off now in the Ford Bronco Sport, testing out the 2-liter version, of course. This seems like a pretty cool, compact, rugged SUV to drive. Has a pretty neat view around. The hood is really long. You can see the whole end of it. So it does give you kind of like a tough feeling when you're in this, which is pretty neat. Glass is all really large, so it's easy to see around. Really can't complain with that. Over your left and right shoulder, no blind spots or anything, and really good view overall. The mirrors are a little small, but you know, being a small car doesn't really get annoying or anything like that. It seems pretty nice and easy to see around. Steering is nice and light with enough weight to give you some feedback, and it has a really sharp turning circle. The engine is pretty peppy too, especially with an 8-speed. I'm really glad they didn't just put a CVT in this car. So it's nice to actually have a nice 4-cylinder and a nice normal transmission. But it seems like a pretty cool car to drive overall. The drive modes seem to help out. If you go into the eco mode, of course, throttle response really gets a little bit slower. And then sport mode, it's gonna give you a little bit more zip to it, a little bit more punch. You take manual control. And even just quarter throttle, I mean, you get up to speed without anything stressing. So it's nice and easy to drive this all the way back into normal now. It's a pretty comfortable riding vehicle too. You know, this is kind of off-road focused, so the suspension is going to be soft enough to be able to tackle bumps and things like that. So when you are on the road, it does translate to a pretty decently smooth ride. You can feel some of the bumps, of course. It still is nice and quiet. There's not really a crazy amount of road noise or wind noise. So it seems well-rounded to be a daily, but also it does have off-road characteristics to go on an adventure, a camping trip, or something to where you're going to be off pavement. I can see this being perfectly fine for that sort of circumstance. Coming to a standstill, brakes all do a nice job too. And then just keeping it in automatic normal. You know, really effortless, gets up to speed, and the engine's pretty quiet. It doesn't just sound like a stressed out 4-cylinder. It's a smooth sound, which is nice to hear. So overall, I'd say driving the Bronco Sport, it kind of makes you smile. It's pretty funky to drive. It definitely feels a little bit more fun than a typical normal crossover. So I feel like they have definitely added that fun, rugged style to it, and everything does come together to be a good driving vehicle, and it has a lot of good amenities. Things you touch and feel are pretty decent. I mean, you have some plastics, but everything, again, kind of feels like a finished plastic. It doesn't just feel like an afterthought. So I think they've done a pretty neat job to make this feel pretty fun overall, with a lot going for it.